Hi, in this video I'm going to go over Dead Space 1 with my ENB and SweetFX. Now if you've not seen the setup video for installing the files, I will have a link to the actual setup video and mod in order to install the ENB and SweetFX on your Dead Space game in order to allow it to run in a higher definition, as well as adding additional AAs and other settings that will improve the overall look of the game. So I'll just go to menu here, and I'm running the game in 2560 by 1440 in order to record and play in 1440p. As you can see here, 2560 by 1440. Now, what you want to do when you first start the game, in order to check and make sure that the ENB in SweetFX is working, is just push your pause brake here. And as you can see, the game becomes a bit lighter. This is the vanilla look of the game. And what's happened is you get kind of this grayish layer over the game. It does make the game look a little lighter, although it does take away the definition and kind of makes all the blacks and such look more grayish black than true black. And I'll push the pause brake again, and as you can see, now the game, you're getting the actual blacks and the definition and such is coming through in the background. If you do want to brighten up the game just to bring up that light level again, just go into your options and adjust your brightness here. And all you really have to do, as you can see, the brightness level is fine, and I'm on the default, although you can bump it up just a bit to bring up those darker areas. So I'm just going to start a new game here, and I won't be able to enable and disable the effects in game without the game pausing, as the pause break is actually the game pause as you're playing. So I'll just start an easy game here. I actually have a game that's ongoing right now, but this is just kind to show you how the game looks and runs. And as you can see, the colors and everything are all still the same. I can push the pause brake here, and as you can see, with the effects off in the vanilla game, it's not quite as sharp, it's more grayish looking. And I'll turn them back on. Now we're getting those base colors and the definition and such all coming through properly. Now the game colors don't change, you just get the base colors coming out a lot more sharply in the game. As well, the definition and everything is a lot nicer with the HDR and the additional AAs and such. So we'll just kind of go through here. Now this is the initial kind of introduction to the game. You have to go through this if you're playing the game, but it is a nice lead in and such. It takes a few minutes, so you gotta kind of go through and watch what's going on. Now if you're not familiar with Dead Space is actually a really good series. The third one kind of leaves you on a cliffhanger with the additional content download. I'm hoping that they come out with a fourth Dead Space to kind of wrap things up, but we'll have to see. It's kind of one of those things that you're hoping will come out, but at the same time you're hoping that it's not going to come out like all the newer ones where they've come out full of these monetary systems that just kind of kill the game. And I hope that they don't do that with the fourth one if they do make a Dead Space 4. Kind of killed the Mass Effect, the fourth one, so I'm hoping that EA doesn't do the same thing with Dead Space and just kind of gives us a good game that's not going to nickel and dime us to death. Okay, so basically As you can see, we're getting a really nice picture here. All the colors, everything is coming out really clearly. And as far as the bright levels and such in the black background, the light from the sun there, the radius and the glare from it isn't too strong. Now, if you did find that those settings are too strong or the game is a bit too dark, just go into the SweetFX preset file, which I show on the setup video, and go to the Hdr Settings lines. Now, the radius line is kind of your bleed over and that white glare that you get off objects like the sun there. And what you want to do is put it onto the vanilla game, look at it, and then turn on the effects and see how much of a bleed over or glare that you have. Then go to those HDR settings and adjust the HDR radius, and that will reduce the bleed and kind of the glare that you get off of lights and stuff like that. The other HDR setting is for increasing or decreasing the brightness of the overall game. So if you want to actually make it a bit lighter rather than using the game brightness, then you just want to alter that second line under the HDR settings in the preset file. So it looks like we've gotten through the first little sequence here, and what I'll do is I'll just play up to the first part, kind of show you a bit of gameplay here. That way you can see how the game performs while using the ENB with the SweetFX, and you can also get a look at everything while I go through this initial area.
Alright, let's get some extra hands from flight deck to help out.
So we'll just kind of let them finish having their conversation, and the game should be starting momentarily here. Now, you shouldn't notice any lag or gameplay issues while using the ENB and SweetFX. If you do notice that the picture is, say, blurry or off and it's not sharp, certain areas are kind of blanked out, or if the game itself doesn't start when you actually go to start it up after putting that in, just again look on the setup video and use one of the Alt D3 D9s. Now, I find that the DP is usually the best one for this. I haven't actually used the Black Mesa for this one, although as with all of them, that is one of the alternatives depending on your video card. So if you do have trouble starting the game, just check that setup video and alternate between the D3 D9s. So I'll have a look around here. USG Ishimara, a planet cracker. You'll find out about those once you're actually in the game. If you haven't played it before, take time to go over the actual story and such for the game, as it's basically carried over between all the games and it's like one continuous story. It's a really good story to follow. Between this and Mass Effect, I kind of enjoy this one a bit more than the Mass Effect, although both of them are really good games. So we'll just continue here and get into this first area. Now, as I said, I'm just going to play up to the first area here and the game start, as I don't really want to spoil too much if you're a new player to Dead Space. That way you can kind of enjoy the game and you won't know what to expect after this point here. But I'll kind of just have a look around, and if you are new, what you want to do is, as you're playing, you'll find these stations, and they're actually save stations. So once you've gotten through certain requirements, whereas in this case it needs me to actually do something first before the save point becomes available. Normally you'll see these on the walls as you're going through the game. Make sure that you go and you save at these locations as you're playing through.
Look, if we all cooperate, we can figure this out a lot.
Now I'm just going to go into this area here, and I'm not actually gonna do this next part. As I said, if you're new to the game, I don't really want to spoil what's about to happen, so I'll just kind of go up to this location here, and what you want to do is when you get here, you're going to bring this up, and the game will all start for you there. Now, hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and if there are any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Please enjoy your game. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll talk to you again.